As it happens, this village, which I call the Glades, turned out to be really rather unusual for modern England. It's exceptionally homogeneous, being almost entirely white and mainly middle class. And what you found here was that there was a particular English way of doing social relationships, in that people are very friendly in the public domain, in shops, in streets, or in the pub. But they're very protective of the private domain, like their own homes. Now, as we've just learnt, almost the definition of social media is that it's a new kind of bridge between the public and the private. So that was always going to be a threat to these kind of English traditions of keeping these things apart. Now, at the same time, people in the village have a nostalgic ideal of having a stronger sense of community in the past, and something that they feel that they've lost. So when social media became more common, they went on sites such as Friends Reunited, and that brought back the people they used to know and widened their social network. But actually, historical records show that that is really a myth about the past, that actually the English were always pretty good at keeping their neighbours at a distance. So the main effect of this use of social media was regret. They realised actually why they hadn't kept in touch with these people in the first place. The next stage, however, was they found a way of turning social media as a problem into social media as a solution. And they developed what I think of as a very English strategy, which I'm going to call the Goldilocks strategy, after the little girl for whom the porridge had to be just right, not too hot and not too cold. Because how they use social media now is that when they have, say, their cousins or their in-laws or somebody they met on holiday, they got them on Facebook, so it's not like you're losing touch with them or you're not in touch with them. On the other hand, because they're on social media with you, you don't actually have to sort of meet up with them or spend time with them, and frankly, you've got better things to do with your time. So if this is scalable sociality, we can see that the English have found a way to calibrate the scale to find the exact point at which they want to keep a lot of people. And that, on the Goldilocks principle, is a point which is neither too hot nor too cold, but rather like the English weather, you know, a bit sort of tepid, a bit kind of lukewarm. Now, it's not that you wouldn't find something like that elsewhere, but it seemed particularly significant within this local context. And so what one would say is that it's not a generality, because there are many people for whom none of this would be true, but you might say that it's typical of this English village and maybe typical of the English.